Hello.
Hello.
We're here. We're live. Well, we're not live, but the mics are live.
Mics are live.
Our show not live,
No,
but
no.
I
I'm
think
alive.
the point comes across. Yeah, still alive, but I'm barely breathing.
It's no hard way to just believing.
This is the third podcast I've done that on this week.
You've got freedom, I've got freedom.
That's my go-to.
I know the melody.
That's my go-to when I'm playing a video game and I'm getting shot at. My friends are like, "Are you alive?" I always go, "I'm still alive, but I'm barely breathing."
Don't mention video games, please.
Oh, let's talk about Activision Blizzard, shall we?
No, let's not.
I'm just kidding.
I don't want to talk video games because GTA Online on the No Pixel server is driving me insane.
You're concerned with GTA Online when the biggest video game news in probably the past 15 years happened over the last week. But
well, what's important to you is important to you, and what's important to me is important to me. And anyone that has listened to more than 5 minutes of this show clearly knows that GTA Online is like my only outlet right now, and they are absolutely driving me insane to the point where one particular heist has brought the entire server to its knees.
I'm very confused by the GTA Online thing. Maybe you can explain it to me. So it's like it's GTA Online, like the actual video game, but it's like modded.
Oh yeah.
So like
I learned that this week. So yeah, it's moddable. So GTA 3.0 is moddable. So when I've always wondered why you know of the game, but when I would mention things of the game, you're like, I never knew that was in there. So I learned that it is moddable. That's why.
So it's modded.
Yeah.
I am shocked that Rockstar allows that to happen. Rockstar are the creators of GTA.
Right, but it's limited though, because the people that I follow on Twitch are devs, are developers in the game and can do. And so it's so funny.
So it's literally only the people that are on the server are the only ones who can use those mods, or can I go download those mods for GTA right now?
You can. The mods, I believe, are mirrored on the No Pixel. So the answer to your question is yes and no. Yes, if you go and download the public server of No Pixel, you get the mods. No, if you just go, if there's a package where you can just get all of the mods that they put in. So there's two. So the mods are mirrored. So the No Pixel, elite server has mods that are also on the No Pixel public server where everybody else can kind of see these things. So these heists are happening in both environments. And I think like a lot of people's way to get into the No Pixel private server is starting on the No Pixel public server. And once they establish a certain character there, they can then apply to be, ushered up into the private server or whatever.
Yeah, that shit's never running on my PC. But
yeah, it's driving me insane right now because a heist in the game has literally brought the entire server to its knees, where everybody, including XQC, is doing nothing but driving around this Los Santos map trying to figure out this heist. And they're not driving around for 15 or 20 minutes. They're driving around during an entire 8-hour stream.
So is this a heist that was added by the modders, or is this the heist that was added by the actual GTA devs?
This is a heist that was added by the mods. Because there's been, we got the normal bank heist, and then they have the vault heist, then they had the lower vault heist. And then every heist has a different little level of heist, like Polito heist is different than the Fleeca heist. And this one that's brought the server to its knees is the casino heist, where people are trying to figure out how to rob the casino.
That's kind of fun though.
It's fun, but it's been going on since December, and it's literally brought there's this new thing that everybody says on the No Pixel private server. It's got to be something. It can't be nothing. Because it's such an intricate yet simple heist. And one of the players that I follow on Twitch that I watch religiously is the casino manager or owner, who's also a developer who wrote the heist. And it has brought the entire server to its knees because everybody wants to figure out how to rob the casino.
It makes me think of this game. It's called Hitman. And what Hitman is like, it's just, you're a hitman, obviously, and they're like, your target is here, and then it just drops you into like, there's one where you're just in this giant building and there's a party going on.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, you can sneak, you can like take out a janitor and then dress up as the janitor, and like, you have to figure out how to kill your target, basically. And there's like a million different ways to do it.
And do you know how to kill your target, or do you have to figure out how to kill your target?
No, it just says you need to kill this guy. He's in there somewhere. Figure it out. And you can, you unlock clues and stuff as you go through, mm-hmm. or you could just brute force your way through it and just kill everyone on the way up there, but you'll get a lower score. Yeah. It's a pretty fun game.
It's and the reason why I'm hooked, even though I'm bitching about it, I'm hooked because I really want to see who's going to break this, who's going to figure this out. And the developer secretly, quote unquote, finger quotations, secretly released a riddle because everybody was starting to literally OOC get frustrated with the fact that they can't crack the casino. So he releases a riddle to give people clues.
Can't they just like roll up into the casino and just like hold people at gunpoint and just be like, yo, give me the money?
They can, and it probably is that simple, but I want to share the riddle. Can I share the riddle?
Please.
Okay. The riddle is this, and this is for the casino heist on the No Pixel server for GTA Online.
Careful saying riddle, because I will talk about Batman for the next 20 minutes if you keep saying riddle.
Well, that's exactly what he said it is.
I know, but that new trailer for the Batman, dude.
Okay, keep it in your pants for a minute.
Okay. Sorry.
Here's the GTA Online No Pixel casino heist tip. Those that followed the stars became rich. Clubbing here can get you sandy or wet. A last supper. An oasis in the shade. Once the most popular man in Los Santos. A journey away from land begins here. A drink and a dance. Let's go for a walk, man. Steal me and take me apart while I overlook the ocean and board my departure. Fight me, draw me, see me, skip, send me, clean me, report me. This riddle has brought the entire No Pixel server to its knees. Because
that's something to do with a boat.
The answer to the casino heist is allegedly in this riddle.
Something to do with a boat. I don't know.
And you drew that up by not even knowing.
Yeah.
It's brought the server, and so
something
now
to do with a boat, and you have to talk to a skipper of some kind.
I was doing something that I don't normally do, and I was stream hopping yesterday. And at one point, I literally had 4 different Twitch streams up at one time.
That's got to be good for your bandwidth.
I know. And everybody was just on a vehicle driving around talking about this riddle, getting mad. One dude took a suicide pill because he just got so frustrated in the game, and he just dropped dead. And when the paramedics got there, EMS got there, they're like, "Why did you die?" He's like, "This is casino heist." It's just brought the whole, and nobody's doing anything. And here's what's funny. The last little point that I'll make about this. The casino owner, who is a developer that wrote the casino heist is literally just riding along with all these other players, literally in their cars or in their helicopters or on their motorcycles as they try to figure out how to rob the casino. And they're discussing this and planning and trying to decipher the riddle right in front of the casino owner.
That doesn't sound very role play.
It's not, dude. Role play has literally almost come to a halt. There isn't much role play right now with everybody trying to figure this out.
It sounds lame because, like, part of the fun of the whole role play thing is, like, you can approach it any way you want, but it seems like you have to approach it a very specific way, and that doesn't sound very fun to me.
But with all the heist in the game, though, it's that. You have to approach every heist in a certain way.
I mean, just going off the ones that are, like, officially in the game, like, by the GTA creators, like, I mean, it's pretty, like, it's not like it's a riddle you have to figure out. It's just like you go here, you shoot some things, you drive away, have to escape, and
in the GTA
like a heist would.
In the GTA, that were you familiar with the vault heist?
I mean, there were vaults involved. Sure.
And, like, you had to thermite doors.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's similar to that, but I think that what's happened is that this developer,
but like the heist. The original developers, they would be like, here's what you have to do. And like a guy would come to you and be like, here's the heist. Here's what we're doing.
Not this mod. Yeah. He's really taking it to a whole nother level, but you're absolutely right. What I'm expressing is what you're saying. It's frustrating because the RP has come to a stop.
Yeah.
RP is no, because everybody's trying to figure this out. When everything else was like, you know, written into the game, this is how you do it. You go, you get a laptop, you get a dongle, you rob a house, you get a dongle, you get the laptop, you go and you put the laptop on the door, you get thermite by collecting these scrap pieces of metal and blah, blah, blah. And there were steps, clearly defined steps. But because the casino isn't, I don't believe is something that was in the Rockstar version of GTA, it's at a whole nother level. What I'm waiting for is that when someone does figure this out, that casino heist better be in the millions. That better be in the millions, because you can hit the lower vault and easily clear
$10,
$500,000, $700,000. The casino heist, because of its level of difficulty, it really has to be in the middle. I mean, in the millions. It really does. But the RP that I enjoyed, the interaction between these stupid characters, has stopped. They were at the beginning of the heist working as a team, and they got nowhere. And now everybody has fractured off, individually trying to figure it out, trying to cover more ground. But that kills the RP. But dude, that conversation that you and I had when we talked last year about me wanting to get onto the No Pixel server, dude, it's just, I feel like it's calling me, because
you got to get a PC, dude. You got to get
a powerful one
PC.
too, clearly, which is impossible right now. But dude, it's calling me because they have this, and this is probably modded in. They have LSBN news. And then I found out when watching one of the Twitch streamers that the LSBN app in the game has a radio function that no one in the game is using right now.
You got to be the radio guy.
Oh, good Lord. And then there's another.
What would you call your show in the game? Fat Guy Radio Show?
No,
is that a little too on the nose?
It would have to be LSBN News, because that's the established brand, but there's no one doing radio, and they just activated the ability to turn, like, if one player gets in a car and there's three other players in the car with them, and that one player plays a sound, like a track or something, long as it's not docked, all the other players can hear it. So like when you're in the car with other players, you can literally control the radio now. And one of the functions in the radio is the LSBN radio station. So basically what it is that the LSBN app in the game is pretty much a podcast in the middle of GTA. Because it has to be pre-recorded, it can't be live, but you literally can do a podcast in the game now. And all the players hear the podcast. And then the LSBN news station has a freaking radio station built in it where you can go in and sit and have 2 microphones and 2 characters and record them. And then you get a little USB, because that's the same way that the LSBN reporters do. Dude, this game is calling me. It's beckoning me, because so many things that I could totally be a part of is just beckoning for me right now.
Yeah, probably won't happen though.
No, it won't. 5, 6, 7, 8.
What is up, boyos? This is the Jake and Cory podcast. My name is Jake. That's Cory. It's been so long since I've done this intro, I almost fucked it up. What's up, Cory?
Well, I really want to speak to people about something.
Okay.
2 years ago, a few days ago, we were introduced to this thing called the coronavirus. And there is this organization within the federal government called the Center for Disease and Control, the CDC.
I know where this is going.
Okay. And the CDC basically is a building of a whole lot of smart people that are scientists and this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? And one thing that we didn't know 2 years ago is that we didn't know what the hell we were dealing with. And when we learned what we were dealing with, one of the jobs of the CDC is to give us recommendations on what to do to protect ourselves and to counteract ourselves. And the CDC gave out what they found were plausible suggestions on how to protect yourself, with masking, social distancing, blah, blah, blah. If you contract it, how long to stay away from people, all of these recommendations. The CDC is literally a lot like a hospital. They're doctors. They're practicing medicine. And the CDC came out with, their recommendations and what to do and how to do it. And, then the pharmaceutical companies, which were also scientists, came out. And when the CDC gave these recommendations and all of the recommendations that they've given throughout this whole entire pandemic, it's not just the CDC making this up on their own. Every country has some level of a Center for Disease and Control group. Dr. Fauci is the forefront man of all of this in America, but Dr. Fauci isn't telling Europe what to do. He's not telling other countries what to do, though they are communicating across the countries. This virus isn't a U.S.-based virus. This virus isn't, the CDC recommendations aren't just recommendations that only the U.S. are proposing to do. What I'm saying, and what I'm getting to, is that we're now 2 years into this thing. And everybody was at one point looking for a way out. And there was a way out recommended by the Center for Disease and Control. And when they spoke, some people listened and some people slapped their hands and said, oh, wait a minute. I wanted you to say something, but you're not saying what I want you to say. So then the CDC, like with everything with medicine and everything with science, adjusted and spoke again. And some people listened. And then some people said, oh, I was waiting for you to readjust and speak again, but you did say what I wanted you to say. So then the CDC adjusted with new parameters and new measures, and science is always changing and medicine is always changing. And they spoke yet again. Some people listened and some people said, I was waiting for you to say something else, but you didn't say what I wanted to say. The bottom line is that I feel, here we are 2 years into this, and these are my feelings, that we are now beating up the one group of people that are there to make recommendations like your doctor does, like you're like anyone else that is trying to predict or curve something to do. And now we have barked and bit and snapped back at this department, at this group of people so much that they have now, I would not be surprised if they now say, you know what? Everything we've said, some of y'all listened, some of y'all were listening for something you wanted to hear. So now do what you want to do. And then when they did that and the thing exploded again, people wanted to point their fingers at the CDC. Why would you want the same organization that you've been beaten up to now come back and rescue you from something new when you didn't even want to take into consideration what they originally had to say? So in my mind, and these are just my thoughts and the way that I see it, and I'm not totally in the know, we've said that on this show, but I think that now we have beat up the one organization that's main purpose is to recommend protocols and suggestions to curb worldwide pandemics. And we have shut them down so hard that now they're not saying anything because they know everything that they're going to say is going to come under scrutiny. And I believe it's our fault. If you beat up somebody so many times, you really expect them to come back and help you when the situation that they tried to help you with took a turn or became different? I think we're beating up the wrong people here. I'm not saying everything the CDC has ever said is accurate. They're scientists like doctors. It's called practicing medicine. They're doing everything that they can for what they know and from the data that they have to make the best recommendations, and it's up to us to take them or not. I don't think it's up to us to shut down their recommendations, to buck against their recommendations. They're just recommendations. Like when your doctor sends you home with a bottle of pills, he tells you to take 2 of these every morning. You then have the control to take those 2 pills every morning. If you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. And then you suffer whatever ramifications may come after that. It's all recommendations. But I feel that we have beat this organization up to the point where they don't want to say anything else anymore. And when they do say something, they're just loosening up more because they're kowtowing to the pressure that we put on them when their whole job is to make suggestions on and recommendations on how to avert a worldwide pandemic. And I think we've beat up the wrong organization here. I don't think that we should be fighting anybody in this situation, is my opinion.
I have a lot of thoughts on what you're saying right now. Because I feel like I agree and disagree with you both at the same time. And I think when I get there, you'll understand where I'm coming from. First of all, let me say it is goddamn hilarious every time a Republican is like, what is Joe Biden doing about the coronavirus? And it's like, bruh, his whole plan was, hey, get vaccinated, wear a mask, bing, bang, boom. And you guys said no, and now you're asking, what's old Joe doing? And it's like, you didn't do what he said we should do, and now you're still blaming him. And it's really, I don't like defending Joe Biden. I think, Joe Biden is like not the greatest of people. But I feel the same about the CDC, where I'm in this weird predicament now where I agree with you, where I think they've just taken a lot of like heat from, anti-vaxxer, a lot of the southern states, and they've suggested, hey, get your vaccines, blah blah blah. But I think the thing that's really shitty about it, because now they're like, if you get COVID, you're fine after 5 days, go back to work, whatever, who cares? If you're near someone who has COVID and you're shotted up, who cares? Don't even get tested. You're fine. Like that's literally what the CDC is saying now. Like they just don't give a shit. They're just like, whatever, go back to work. I was actually just talking to my friend whose wife is a elementary school teacher, and she caught COVID, and the school, she still kind of is barely getting over it, but because the CDC guideline says you can come back after 7 days, they're like, we need you to come back now. And she's like, but I'm still like not feeling well. They're like, that we don't care. You need to come back. And that's just where we're at now with the whole CDC guidelines. It's like we don't care about our kids, and we don't care about the rest of the people, which, yes, partially it is because of the people just pushing back and no one's listening anyway. But at the same time, for someone like me and you and a lot of people we know, the 3 people who listen to this show probably as well, like we all followed the guidelines, and now for them to just sort of turn their back on us kind of feels really shitty. And like, I don't know what to do. I've been following the CDC the whole time, and now I feel like I can't even listen to the CDC because they're just like, go crazy. And it's like, I would love to go crazy, but like, am I supposed to wear a mask right now? I don't know. If I look at the fucking numbers, yeah, I think I should. But then according to the CDC, it's like, you're fine. And I think it's 2 things. I think it's both the pushback, and I think it's also them looking at like the Omicron variant being not as deadly as the other variants, and they're like, fuck it, just everyone get it, and maybe we'll reach some sort of herd immunity. And I think they're kind of thinking that too, where I think even Fauci came out and he's like, yeah, just like expect to get COVID at some point. Like,
yeah, he did say that. So I don't think you necessarily completely disagree with me, because I agree with everything that you just said.
I was just being more critical of the CDC, I guess.
Yeah, well, yeah, like, and I agree with your criticism, because I believe that they did kowtow to it, and I think it had a lot to do with the fact that the Omicron variant was a lot less. It wasn't Omicron. However, the hospital systems are still hemorrhaging. Right, yeah, you know what I mean? Exactly. And you brought up a point that I really didn't realize that I was feeling, is that by them just saying, oh yeah, get it, or everybody's going to get it. It does feel like a little bit of an abandonment of the ones. Because like, what about
the people who are listening?
Yeah,
you know, like I would like to still listen.
Yeah, that are following and believing in the science and trusting somewhat in the science. So yeah, you make a very good point that I didn't realize that I was feeling, but I agree with you 100%. It does feel like those of us that have sacrificed most of ourselves, and in our sacrifices, we've been ridiculed. I get treated differently because of the fact that I'm still doing what I feel, and I agree with the CDC's recommendations and those protocols. I get ridiculed by wearing a mask.
Yeah, I still get funny looks when I wear a mask now, because no one wears them anymore.
I go to a place and they have now stopped calling it a mask and start calling it, oh look, someone's wearing their paranoia on their face.
Yeah, bitch, I am paranoid. There's a pandemic. What do you mean?
It's just so, yeah, it feels like a thing that they've turned their backs on us. And you're right, looking at the numbers and looking at the hospitalizations, people just don't. I can see somewhat of why the CDC feels so beat down. But then, yeah, I agree with you.
But what also, like, it's their job to deal with that shit. Like,
yeah,
fuck
what
it.
about
like,
us?
You gotta, and you know, I think a big part of it obviously was from the start, from the jump. We had the orange man in the office who was kind of downplaying it from the very beginning, but then at the same time, the CDC was telling us shit that wasn't true with the whole mask thing because they wanted it to go to doctors, and I understand that, but like, they shouldn't have said that shit. And from the onset, like, they fucked up and they lost our trust at the very beginning. and that's partially on them.
Yeah, it is. But then you have to realize that it's also my slight little. I agree with you, but my slight little pushback to that is that it's medicine at the end of the day.
Right. No, I agree with you.
And it's like, some things are going to work and some things aren't going to work, and you're going to have to adjust. But I totally agree with you that we had the worst world pandemic in the history of the world during the worst administration in the history of the world. Yeah. You know what I mean? So because we had the CDC trying to figure it out and making some missteps, and then we got Orange over here spotlighting every misstep and counteracting even the right steps, it really just this we've had pandemics before that have not lasted this long. It's so.
I mean, even the Spanish flu didn't last this fucking long, dude. We're surpassing that.
It was way more deadlier. But I
have to question that, though. I wonder if it was more deadly or if our medical science is just better now.
I think our medical science is better.
Like, I have no idea.
You know what? It's kind of like that same argument of, was a blockbuster movie back in the 40s the same as a blockbuster movie box office in 2000? You know what I mean? Because in the 40s, you go see a movie for 10 cents. So I think that it has I think what you make a very valid point.
There are adjusted for inflation things.
Right.
But yeah.
But I don't think you can adjust, our technologies and medicine for inflation.
So. And I would feel better about all of this. We're getting closer and closer to, we've had the vaccines for a while, and people are still pushing back on that, which is just wild.
I don't get it. I mean, if you don't trust it at this point, or if you don't believe that your microchip, the vaccines have been out for a while. 5G has been activated.
There's no avoiding it. Just do it.
Okay, what's your argument now? The guy that tells you that the vaccines are bad is vaccinated.
But we are getting closer. Like, I think Pfizer, I don't know if it's like FDA approved, but I think it got emergency approved. Some sort of like
COVID cure
treatment. Mm-hmm. Yeah, some sort of treatment for it, which is great. That's great. If we could start pushing that shit, I'm ready to go. But the real problem with that is we can't produce enough of it. Not nearly enough. Actually, my dad just caught COVID last week, and we were trying to figure out, is it possible to get him this, whatever it's called, the antichloral antibodies or whatever the fuck. And it's impossible. It's nowhere. There's no stock of it anywhere. And it is funny that, people who are afraid of the vaccine are okay with this treatment, even though this one is not FDA approved.
No.
But the vaccine is. It's just bonkers to me. But the sooner we could get that going, though, and I'm still optimistic over here, Cory. I'm feeling somewhat optimistic. People aren't dying as much, but more people are dying because they can't go to the hospital. But I'm hoping we'll get over that the next couple weeks.
What numbers are not being reported are the people that don't have COVID that want to go and see.
That's what I mean.
That's what I mean. Yeah, see a hospitalist or a doctor, and they can't, and they're dying because of that.
They're in waiting rooms. Yeah,
the waiting rooms, 3, 4, 5 hours, 2, 3 days. You know what I fear right now more than COVID is having a heart attack.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I get that. Yeah.
Having a heart attack. Our paramedics are sashaying off the planet. They're sick. That's getting in a car accident. That is more worrisome than COVID right now.
It's twofold right now when it comes to hospital capacity. It's filled up with people with COVID, and it's also the nurses and doctors getting COVID.
Yeah.
So they can't go to work. So it's like both we're running out of room and we're running out of doctors and nurses.
And
so
when the federal
really
government is giving $176 million to help, and we're allocating those funds to, I don't know, I'm just going to pick a prison maybe, you struggle a little bit harder than other states struggle.
Yeah, it's wild. I actually wanted to bring up today, and it kind of piggybacks off of your topic. I wanted to talk about healthcare today, Cory. And the reason I wanted to talk about healthcare is because don't want to talk out of line too much here, but my sister has to get her gallbladder removed, which is it's kind of a common thing. You got to get your gallbladder removed. But, apparently it's just been like dying inside of her basically. So like for the past 2 months, she just hasn't been able to eat anything, can't do anything. Essentially, she's in pain all the time, wakes up in the middle of the night, just like agonizing pain. One night we had to take her to the hospital. It was so bad. And like, so it's a necessary surgery that she has to have, right? Like she can't live her life with this. And as it gets worse, it becomes a dead organ in your body, which can literally kill. Yeah. Literally kill you if you don't get it removed.
Yeah. You poison yourself from the inside out.
So she had to plan a surgery, which right now is nearly impossible because of all the COVID stuff. She finally got it scheduled, but here's the kicker. She has to pay for the surgery itself, the doctor's fees, the prescription fees, and the hospital fees, which ultimately is going to cost her probably close to $10,000. And
don't forget about the anesthesiologist.
Well, and that's
they
probably one of the bigger
separately,
ones.
Those motherfuckers.
Yeah. And, she called the hospital and she's like, okay, I want to set up a payment plan, I guess, if I have to pay for all this shit. And she has insurance. It's not like she doesn't have insurance. This is with insurance. And they're like, okay, but you have to pay $3,500 up front. And she's like, okay, I can do that because I'm in a okay spot in my life. She was trying to buy a house, but now she's just going to take some of that money from her buying a house to fucking her surgery. And she's like, so like what happens if I couldn't pay that $3,500? They're like, well, you couldn't have your surgery. Shit out of luck.
Yep.
That is appalling to me. Like, and I knew this, I have been aware of like, that's how our medical system works for a long time. But seeing it like firsthand like that, and like, hearing about people with like their teeth, like a tooth rots and then they have a huge infection in their mouth. And the only way it gets treated is once they end up in the hospital because their mouth is literally falling apart.
Yeah.
I've heard stories like that and stuff, and I work with people. Yeah, it doesn't matter. But like to see it firsthand is just insane. And then just to hear people say like our insurance system is good is just the most appalling thing I've ever heard in my life.
You know what I do for a numbers job?
Yeah.
I experienced the same thing that your sister is experiencing now on a smaller scale because my surgery wasn't as expensive. Same situation, bruh. I went through the same exact thing, and I have the insurance of a Sultan Prince. Yeah. And it was still the exact same thing where thousands of dollars was required before I even sniffed a hospital gown. It sucks. It is so, and this is what affects, and this is what a lot of people, when they talk about healthcare reform, are speaking to. Because if everybody isn't like your sister, where she's able to drop $3,500 and have that available. Everybody isn't like me, where my surgery, I had to drop $1,800 before I even rolled into the hospital. Everybody's not in that type of situation. So they go without it, and it sometimes leads to their demise. I experienced everything that you just said. I was shaking my head as you were telling me everything that your sister's having to go through just to get the surgery. Only thing I didn't experience that when I had my surgery, it wasn't COVID. So mine was like, scheduled, write a check, cut me open, get the lesbian in my ass with the knife, and boom, bam. Because, it is the famous surgery that I've spoken about on Fat Guy Radio Show, the ass replacement surgery with built-in Wi-Fi that I had about 3 or 4 years ago. I went through the exact same thing. This is the exact same financial roadmap that your sister is going through, and it sucks and it's frustrating because if you're not in that forecast, if you're not in that level where you can do it. Here's another thing. I had a friend that went through the exact same thing, needed a surgery, didn't have the money. Luckily, he was comfortable enough to come to me, and I was in a position where I could help. But if he didn't come to me, and then if I wasn't in the position, he would have never been able to get that surgery, life-saving or not. So yeah, I totally agree with you. Though I joke and say I have the insurance of a Sultan Prince, I still come out of pocket for things that you would think should be a lot easier, and they're not. Our healthcare system is almost as broken as our justice system, and whatever else you want in our government. It's just broken. It's literally no longer about people. And you know what I do, and I say that from a deep place. It's no longer about people at the end of the day. It's about profits and greed.
Yeah, it's disturbing, and that it's
and nothing will ever change about it. Nothing.
Much like you, I literally had an ex-girlfriend who I had stopped talking to, and she called me one day in desperation, like, "Hey, I can't live. My tooth is so bad. It needs to be removed. And the only way they'll remove it is with $500. Can you please lend me $500 and I will pay you back when I get paid next?" Of course, I was like, okay, I'll do it.
Did you tell her to give you a little bit of the snooky before you?
No.
I was you could have got this ex-girlfriend. You could have got a little extra. You could have got a little wet.
No. I'm just a nice guy.
You're not. You should have played that up to your benefit in that situation.
Maybe I should have. Not that I would have won anything while she's all doped up and with a bloody ass tooth.
Don't fuck her mouth.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was really bad of me. Please send your complaints to Austin. Is cute and keeps cooking, and I love him at gmail.com.
No, yeah, but I was like, of course, I'll help you out. And I feel like that is a very common story for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I don't have the cash to do it. Because I would say it's probably more common than not that an American lives paycheck to paycheck.
Oh, hell common.
If I had to guess, I live paycheck to paycheck. I
was about to say, where the hell did you get $500 to give to some bitch that broke your heart? But that's okay, you idiot.
I just happened to be be able to do it.
You were writing that check or counting those ducats out, thinking that you were going to get a chance to eyeball those old nodders again. No, and that's the only reason why. If an ex called me up and said, "Hey, can you loan me this and the amount of money so that I could have a medical procedure done," I'd be like, "You're my ex. Go fuck yourself. Go find the dude you left me for."
You can't do that though, because it's like,
yes, you can.
There's no other option for people sometimes, and if you're I knew that if she's calling me, this must be a pretty desperate situation.
Did she pay you back?
Of course she did. Yeah, okay. She did.
All right.
But yeah, and we dated, so I was aware she would pay me back. I trusted her enough.
Was she dating someone else at the time that she needed this $500 from you?
I am unaware. I don't think so. But
most likely she was. You were a fool and a half.
Bro, it's not about that though. I know. It was a desperation
I'm just
call.
busting your balls. You know what? I actually, in my heart of hearts, if an ex called me up and they were in a bad spot, because of my humanity, I would probably help, and also because I am stupid fucking rich. I'm kidding. I've had friends that I've lost contact with, or had a falling out, reach out and need financial help, not with just medical stuff, but with cell phone bills and shit like that. And and truly, if I got it to spare, I'll spare it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
that's where I was too.
I'm
And
just busting your
know,
balls about it.
No,
you
for
still
sure.
Could you still could have got a little bit of.
It was
snatch.
like it was an okay breakup too. It was a mutual thing, so it was okay.
We still should negotiate a little dick. You know,
maybe we did later on, but it's not for here now.
But the point that you make though is that the system is broken. The system is built on profits and not people. And that's a sad place. But then when you think about it, isn't that what America is?
Well, it's sad because in school I was raised, America is the land of the free. And the older I get, the more I realize that's not the case at all. Because what is freedom if you can't live?
Well, we were also, when we were in school, taught that, Columbus discovered America.
Right.
You know what I mean? Exactly. So,
when I went to school, I was under the impression, the civil rights movement happened, hundreds of years ago when actually it happened 60 years ago.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of shit that you figure out in your adult age that.
Right.
That shit, those history books are a little slanted.
But the sad thing is that schooling is the propaganda, and a lot of people who get older don't realize, and they think that we have the best system, and when literally you could go upstairs to our upstairs neighbor, and they have a better system than we do here.
Yeah.
When it comes to medical, I can't say for everything, but
you make a very valid point, and Jake, you make an argument that has been, at the forefront of everything for a very long time is healthcare reform. The insurance industry in this country is just absolutely astronomically out of control. Yeah. And it's a system that's basically built on fear. And then when that fear is realized, when something does happen and you need to lean on that insurance, there's a whole lot of protocols and steps that you didn't realize were going to be there when you needed them most. You know what I mean? It's broken. It's always been broken, man. It was designed to be broken.
What's frustrating too is obviously, I'm a Bernie guy through and through, and Bernie's been pushing for, free healthcare for a long time. But when Joe Biden was running, he was running on a public option. And, we're about 2 years into this bitch. Where the fuck is our public option, Joe?
Ask
Mitch. What the fuck is going on?
Don't ask Joe. Ask Mitch. Don't ask Joe.
Ask Mitch. We have the majority in the House and the Senate.
Mitch McConnell's sole duty, and he said it himself, is to stop him from doing anything and everything like he did with Obama.
Yeah, well, I would look out more for Kristen Sinema, who's actually stopping.
Oh, that bitch. Don't get me started.
As far as I haven't even heard anything about the public option even going through to pass. No one's even really talked about it since he got elected.
She flim-flammed and bamboozled everybody. Now, I will say this. Everything she's done, well, I won't even say that. I was going to say everything she's done was at least better than her predecessor, but no. Martha McSally was a crackhead too, and Kristen Sinema is just basically a bisexual crackhead.
Yeah.
Literally the identical fuck up of Martha McSally, who we wanted her to replace. The bitch is the poster child for lying her way into the hearts of Americans, getting what she wants, and then fucking us all. We should have known when she said she was bisexual. We didn't know she was going to fuck the Democrats and the Republicans.
Ah, nice. Yeah, she's
this bitch here. I'm telling you.
Party.
Oh my God. She is royally going against everything she ran on.
Yeah.
Going against everything she claimed Martha McSally was bad at doing. And look at it now. Look at her now. I mean, if you ever want a stamp of something that was a hope that turned into a disaster, it is Sinema. This bitch bamboozled this state to get into office and ain't no better than who she replaced. At least Martha McSally would at least side sometimes with her own party.
Well, it's funny because she'll be reelected because Arizonans are stupid as hell. So
yeah, and I mean
the Republicans like her now, and a lot of Democrats don't look at who they're voting for; they just select the D, and that's it.
And if you're not, and then why am I nervous for 2024 now? Was not the Orange Man Justin Florence soft launching a 2024? Are we really that stupid? Is this Orange Man going to become the Ross Perot 2.0? And Ross Perot, I believe, may have been before your time. Are you familiar with who Ross Perot is?
Not really.
Ross Perot was an oil tycoon, I believe, out of Texas that kept running for president year after year after year after year after year until he finally died. The only difference between Ross Perot and the Orange is that the Orange actually won. But I'm equating the Orange to a new Ross Perot because is he never going to go away until he dies? Is he going to continue to run every year after presidential year after presidential year after presidential year? And the scary thing about it, that's more scarier than the Ross Perot era, is that this motherfucker has a chance.
Oh, yeah.
A chance, because one thing that the Democrats are guilty of is lackadaisical laziness. Yep. They'll sit back and say, there's no chance. This dude's just crazy. There's no way he's going to get in office.
It's exactly how he got elected the first time.
Bingo.
Yeah. You can't underestimate him.
And the fact that there are still senator candidates out there now still running on the Trump ticket.
Yeah.
I see the commercials every day on TV. What? Even after people from QAnon has turned on him, you still got people beating his. I don't get it. 2024 is nerve-wracking because this orange dude is not going to go away unless the Simpsons prediction comes to light.
What's the Simpsons prediction?
The Simpsons predicted his death.
Yeah. I mean, that's not totally out of the line of questioning, but that's true for Joe Biden as well.
Simpsons didn't predict Uncle Joe's. They predicted Uncle Joe's nap, but they didn't
you really can't underestimate Trump, though. And you know what really pisses me off, and this is exactly how Trump gets reelected, is a year after January 6th. We just kind of passed that milestone a bit ago, and we're just a little over a year after January 6th now, and on January 6th, Joe Biden comes out and he's like, and Nancy Pelosi, and they're like, democracy won that day. Don't look at it as a failure. We won. And it's like, I think that's not the message.
No.
That's not it. That's not it. You should be demonizing these people. For real. You should really just be like, this is what they did. Are you looking? Are you paying attention? Don't forget this shit. Not like, oh, it's in the past. Oh, who cares? Forget about it. Because that's how Donald Trump gets reelected.
And now I see all these little stickers on the gas pumps around the city. Which
is hilarious because the gas is the same price as it was a year ago. But
it is, but it's still funny. But then you were talking about that, and I wanted to develop a picture with Trump pointing at the Capitol burning with the caption that says, I did this, and put that right next to the Joe Biden sticker. Like, come on.
It's crazy.
Cory. It's insane. Yes.
I want to end the show with one fun, I mean, it's kind of fun, like a fun topic to end.
Yeah, because we've been heavy, and we haven't been heavy in a while.
Yeah, so it's been a while since we've been kind of political like that.
We kind of had political blue balls for a while, but then cinema and rump down in Florence, it kind of helped us release a little bit.
COVID,
Go.
GTA.
Yeah, GTA. Let's end with something fun so I can go back and watch some more GTA VODs.
So this is big. This was big in my life. This happened last week. It got announced. Okay, this was
Something's
big in my life.
your life. Are we talking? Never mind. I was going to make a really bad joke.
Yes, my penis, but also something else.
Oh,
this tour that's happening in Vegas. It's called the When We Were Young tour. Okay, and this tour has people like, it's headlined by My Chemical Romance and Paramore. It's a big emo tour. Okay, it's got The Used. It's got Avril Lavigne, Jimmy World, Taking Back Sunday, over 60 bands, okay? Just like the most amazing lineup, okay? And I was planning on going, and we'll get into why I'm not going in a second, but it's a couple reasons. But I was planning on going because, for one, I love Vegas. Any chance I can go to Vegas, hell yeah. And the show's not till October. I was hoping, maybe we'll see some like grace of God when it comes to COVID, but I would obviously cancel if that's not the case. But so I was like really hopeful, like I want to go to this show, and now everyone's like, hey, this is put on by the guys who put on Astroworld. But so everyone is saying that this show is the next Fire Festival. Okay, you remember Fire Festival?
It's kind of like Burning Man, right?
What's that?
The Burning Man Festival out in the desert of Nevada?
No.
Is that
so
like
Coachella?
Fire,
you know about Fire Festival, no?
No, I know about Coachella. I know about Burning Man.
So Fire Festival, there's actually 2 documentaries. There's one on Hulu and one on Netflix about Fire Festival. That was the one that was like put on by Ja Rule, and like it was on some fucking island. And, like, you had to take a plane there, and you were supposed to get huts. And then people showed up there, and the huts were actually just, like, these really shitty tents.
Oh, yeah. I saw that. Okay. Oh, yeah, I'm familiar now.
Yeah. So, and, like, the food they were given was, like, bread and cheese, and then none of the bands showed up. 0.
Yeah.
So everyone's saying that this is the next Fire Festival for a few reasons. They're saying, like, it's put on by the guys who put on Astroworld, which was an issue. And also, how are 60 bands supposed to play in one day on only 3 stages?
Yeah.
And
if they play one song each, it's doable.
Well, and I want to push back, okay? Because I think if Jesus Christ himself put on this music festival, people would say it's a scam, because people don't want to pay $280 to go to this concert, and they're looking for ways to justify not spending that money.
Yeah.
And because I think, for one, when it comes to the bands all playing, I think at least 10 of these bands are going to drop off by the time of the show. It's inevitable. That's how these things go. They just announced a second date as well, so then it won't be overpopulated.
Because even with 60 bands playing, that's going to be 60 bands split in the pot. So some bands are going to fall out.
I don't think that's the reason. I think it just is inevitable. Scheduling conflicts, sicknesses, deaths. Things happen all the time. But it's supposed to be a 3-band or a 3-stage festival. So like you could have the smaller bands play 20-minute sets, and then as you get further on, Paramore and My Chemical Romance can play hour-long sets, and then you're set. So that, I think, is doable. As far as, like, it's the guys who put on Astroworld. Well, the guys who put on Astroworld is Live Nation, and Live Nation puts on 90% of all concerts everywhere.
I think that's unfair. That's unfair.
Yeah. If you're freaked out by that, you should be freaked out by every single concert. I think Astroworld had a number of issues that was not just exclusively Live Nation's fault. I think there was a lot of
there was a lot of loose cans, and you can't brand every promoter that was involved in Astroworld.
And if anything, right now they're going to do their best to not create another Astroworld.
Oh, they're crossing their T's and dotting the I's and double underlining.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, totally. So what everyone's saying, there's no refund policy. Most concerts don't have like a refund policy like that. That's just the way it is. But the other thing that people aren't thinking about comparing this to Fire Festival, it's at the Las Vegas fucking fairgrounds, not some fucking island in the middle of nowhere.
And the Fire Festival, wasn't that like thousands and thousands of dollars to get to? Because they had to charter private jets, allegedly.
Right, and take boats, and yeah, exactly. And you had to rent you had to rent a cabin. And well, it's like, yeah, if this concert goes bust, at least you're in Vegas and you get to hang out in Vegas, and there's food.
But if it's by Live Nation and the concert goes bust, Live Nation gives you your money back. Live Nation is like the PayPal of concerts.
Exactly. Like, even if there's no refund policy, they will refund you if the concert doesn't happen. Like, they have to. Otherwise, they're going to see a lot of lawsuits. So, yeah, there's that. But I went to go purchase a ticket, right? Because I'm like, fuck it. I'll spend the $240. Let's go, baby. And, you know, I was expecting some fees. And then you get there. First of all, I waited all day in a queue. The queue ended, and it's like, hey, we're out of tickets, but you can put in your credit card information, and the first ticket that's available, it'll go to you. And then they're like, the ticket is actually $260 plus a $90 fee. And I was like, $90? No, I'm out. So I dropped out right there. I was like, I'm not spending $400, plus I'm going to have to get hotel rooms.
Yeah.
Like,
plus you're going to have to get there.
I'd be happy to drop 300, but when you start pushing the 400, that's pushing it for me.
That's a little excessive.
But it looks like the most crazy lineup, and I would love to go to that concert, but it is what it is. I'm not going though because I don't think I'm not going because I think it's a scam though.
You're going because you're poor.
Yeah, the only scam I think is going on here is it's incredibly overpriced.
I'm not a big concert goer, but I'm familiar with these extra fees that end up behind it because, you know, when you like buy tickets, you know, prior to the pandemic, I buy tickets to like a basketball game or a play. And, you know, Live Nation does way more than just concerts, folks. Way more than just concerts. And they always have those fees. Never have I seen a $90.
Exactly. Like I was prepared for like a $40 to $50 fee, you know?
Yeah, like, there's always that, but a $90 push?
Yeah, it was really... Yeah, and then that also ups the tax of it too, and you're just like, fuck this.
I'm stupid rich, and I would have bailed out of that queue.
Yeah, I would love to see that concert though, but like, yeah.
Unless it was for someone like, let me see, Janet Jackson, Celine Dion.
Dude, I had Celine Dion concert tickets, dude. She was supposed to come in April, and she just canceled. I had them in my hand, dude.
When this panty is done, there is someone that has a residency in Vegas that I want to go see. It's Adele? Not Britney. It's not Adele. It's what's his name? Damn it. She just started.
David Copperfield.
Not David Copperfield. He is Las Vegas himself. What is it? Who is her? It's a female artist.
Lady Gaga?
No, not Lady Gaga.
Hers just ended. So
it's one that just started.
Adele just started.
I hate that. I can't think of who it is. Las Vegas residency artist in 2022. Yes, Adele did just start it.
Her tickets are all within the $1,000 range too, which is insane.
Aerosmith has a residency?
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I just looked at it.
That'd be kind of cool.
Pitbull. Oh, Katy Perry. How could I not think of that? I
didn't know she had a residency.
I would love to go see Katy Perry show in Vegas. I saw a commercial or saw something on the internet about it, and it's got big. It's so theatrical. It's got big set pieces. And
dude, I got a question for you though.
I became even a bigger Katy Perry fan after she did the Super Bowl here in Glendale. And I would love and
the sharks, yeah.
She's got we got the shark, and then she came out on that big huge lion. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I got a question for you though, Cory.
I'll answer. I got a question. Hey, Connie, I got a question for you.
Do you ever feel like a plastic bag, drifting through the wind, wanting to start again.
Yes.
Because I just want to know the star and let it shine.
Katy Perry's tickets
Baby,
are only
firework.
Katy Perry tickets are like $378. Oh, that's front orchestra. I'd pay that. Nope. If she's got big, huge set pieces, I don't want to be right up front. I want to be like back.
That's how they get you though, Cory. $378 plus a $90 ticket fee.
For Katy, I'd probably pay that.
And dude, that's where I am with this concert too. I'm like, I'm still so tempted to buy this ticket.
You know what? Rear orchestra tickets, $229.
Yeah. It's still gonna be upward of $400 though.
You know what? I'm gonna go through the price. I'm gonna go right through the whole process until it gets to the point where I have to put my credit card number in.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so it's $229 per ticket. Just email. Oh, I have to put my email address in before it gets to all of that. I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to do that because then it's gonna lock in my email address and I'm gonna get email after email. Do you want to go? Do you still want to go? Yeah, so it doesn't tell you all the tickets, but it's not Live Nation. It's
probably just through the hotel, right?
Tickets.lavishvegas.com.
Yeah.
Is it? But so I would love to go see Katy Perry, and I'm not a Vegas person like you are, but I want to see her show based off the fact that it's got big, huge, elaborate. And I don't think Celine Dion's residency is still going on, but I always wanted to see her. She was one that I wanted to see, but Katy Perry is definitely on the bucket list.
I have got to tell you about my sister, right? My sister is absolutely obsessed with Celine Dion. Like, it's her favorite singer of all time. My sister is a singer, and like Celine is her number one. Like, I want to be Celine Dion, you know?
I can see that.
And she bought tickets probably 6 years ago to see Celine Dion. She showed up. Celine Dion canceled the show because she was sick or something. This was when Vegas was doing their residency. She bought tickets several years later to go. Celine Dion canceled again that same time.
She had to be crushed.
Oh, yeah. We just got tickets for Celine Dion in April. She just canceled the show.
Okay, your sister needs to stop getting tickets because clearly she's the cancellation curse.
Yeah, for real. I feel so bad for her. She's always wanted to see Celine, and it's just never happened.
That's so sad. I'm so sorry for her. It's not the gallbladder sister, too, is it?
No. Different sister.
Oh, okay, different sister. Because that would really suck. You get gallbladder, you got to get gallbladder surgery, and Celine Dion cancels her concerts. Yeah. That there may be cherry pie on the wall or therapist bench time,
different
you
sister.
know.
Gallbladder sister does not sing. No way.
Gallbladder sister has no interest in going and seeing Celine Dion. But I would love to go see Katy Perry if she's still in residency in 2 years when I'm comfortable enough to.
But dude, Paramore and My Chemical Romance, bro. Come on.
That does sound pretty cool.
That's hot.
All they need to throw in there is Gavin DeGraw, and I'm in.
That's a very weird lineup. On tour today, My Chemical Romance, Paramore, Guar, and Slipknot, and Gavin DeGraw.
I'm in. I'd go with you where you can watch all those other concerts. I'll sleep through them, and then as soon as Gavin comes on, I'll be there.
Come on, I know you're a Paramore fan.
I am. I do like Paramore.
Ain't it fun?
All right, put a bow on this bitch. I'm hungry.
Yeah, that is the end of the show. Bye.
That's not how you do that. I understand we haven't done this show since last year, but that's not how you do that.
No. Thanks for listening. Check out the LonerCast channel where we've got all sorts of fun stuff. I've been posting a lot of stuff over there. A lot of stuff. I've also been posting a lot of stuff on TikTok, which is @LonerCast. You should definitely go check that out. Lots of fun stuff over there. And check out Fat Guy Radio Show, where Cory does a podcast, or a radio show, rather.
How dare you? It's a radio show. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, we are running our giveaway. 2022 is going to be the year of giveaways. We're running a giveaway right now for just a simple guessing game of how many times I wash my hands in a day. And if you guess the exact number, you can win a $25 Walmart gift card.
Can I put my guess in now?
No, you can't, because you were too close and you're related to one of the employees of the network, so you're eligible.
I don't need to win the gift card. I just want to put in a guess.
You're dating one of the hosts of Fat Guy Radio Show. You cannot participate. But it's simple, because I got a new iWatch. Even on people say it's called an Apple Watch. I got a new iWatch, and it tallies how many times I wash my hands, and it counts 20 seconds for me. So we were talking about it on the show and decided to run a giveaway of it. Also, we're running a promotion right now called the 2022 Draws for You Challenge, where basically you subscribe at the $8 level of our bonus show. Different tiers, you get different hosts of the show throughout the entire show in their draws.
Oh.
Does that sound familiar, Jake?
It definitely does. Only
yes,
ours was an audio podcast, while yours actually has video. So
yeah, ours has video. So yes, and this is a stolen idea, and I've given the original idea credit. This is a stolen idea, but we are running the 2022 Draws for You campaign. So you can visit and find details about that at fatguyradioshow.com. And then on our social media pages, you can find on Facebook and Instagram, you can find the how many times will Cory wash his hands in a day giveaway. Just simple, just enter in a number, and the one that hits it right on the head gets a $25 gift card, and the one that comes closest gets a swag merch store round logo shirt. And if 2 people come into the runnings and win each prize, they will have to just fight to the death to see who wins.
We'll fly you out, fight to the death.
Yeah, we're not.
We'll break a stick in half, and you guys will.
We'll fly you out, but first, you have to buy a ticket with a $90 administration fee attached to it.
yeah. Cory, I just want to say, you say Apple Watch and not iWatch. You say iWatch. Yeah. Apple really has ditched the whole eye marketing, haven't they?
They have. They've pivoted away from eye.
Sorry, I had to talk about that because that's mind blowing to me, and I hadn't thought about that until right now.
And that's the reason why I refer to my Apple Watch as an iWatch.
Yeah, the only thing that still has eye in it is the iPhone. Is
the phone. Everything else they've pivoted away from the eye marketing.
Yeah, because there's no more.
Even down to the boxing of, because I took a picture of it because I thought it was just so interesting. Even down to the boxing of the watch. They don't even have eye. It just has Apple.
Yeah.
It doesn't even say iWatch on it.
Yeah, there's not even iTunes anymore. It's Apple Music now.
Yeah, and Apple Podcast.
Yeah, Apple Podcasts. And how long until they change the name of their phones to the Apple phone?
That's going to be dumb. I think that if they do change the name of the phone, it'd be changed to Metaphones.
Yeah. No, that's more of a Facebook thing, I think.
That is. Let's get out of here. 5, 6, 7, 8.